Hey guys, it's Christian Prepper back here talking to you. Just did a vid on my rabbits, and while I was here I thought I'd go ahead and catch my chickens too. These are Rhode Island Reds. I got into chickens 3-4 years ago, and chickens are great. I mean, they can feed you before they're born in the form of an egg. While they're living, they can lay eggs and feed you, and then after they're dead, you can eat their meat. So they're really great animals. They're a lot easier to tend than rabbits. You know, I keep 500-600 pounds of rabbit feed stored all the time, but just to be quite honest with you, in an economic collapse, I don't know that you'd be able to sustain rabbits. You know, I've tried feeding them off Timothy hay and stuff, but you know, you really, it'd be hard to do that. But chickens you can free range, and they'll do just fine if you free range them. I don't free range mine much. I just feed them, but if you had to, they would. There's the rooster. He came in here to see what was up. Got my nest boxes here, and I got one broody mama sitting there in the corner. She's sitting on about 10 or 12 eggs, and I've been waiting for one of my chickens to go broody, and I finally got one that's broody. And but these are Rhode Island Reds, and they're pretty good chickens. A good deal breed. They're good for meat or eggs. If I had my time to go over, I don't know that I would get Rhode Island Reds. I would probably get black Australorps, and the reason I say that is because they're just better layers, and they're a lot more broody. It's really hard to raise little guys off of Rhode Island Reds, although I do have one set, and you'll see in this pen beside her, those are Easter eggs, and that's how you can trick a hen into going broody. I bought these after Easter at the dollar store. I put a piece of gravel in each one of them, taped them up real good where they wouldn't come loose, and I put all of them in that corner nest where she's sitting, and I left them there about 2 or 3 weeks. One of the hens finally started setting them because I left them in the nest. And after she started setting them, then I took her up, took them out, and I put real eggs up under her. So then I just moved them over. I need to go ahead and take them out. So that's one way to get a chicken to get broody if they're not doing it willingly. Now if you can see her, not above her, that's a pair of my wife's old pantyhose. I hope they was old. I don't know if she's missed them yet or not, but I poured a box of mothballs in there and hung them in their coop. That helps keep snakes away from the eggs, and it'll help with stuff like that. I'm going to take you around here and show you the outside of my chicken coop, and I'll just shut this back up here. My chicken coop is actually right in the same little area with my rabbits, and let's walk around here right quick. I just want to show you this because if you're considering getting chickens, I made a real bad mistake the first group of chickens I got. The first group, I've got 2 flocks, and this is my bigger flock. The first group of chickens I got, I had them in way too small area. And what happened is they got very what they call cannibalism, and what happens is the chickens are basically bored and they don't have anything to do, and they go to picking on each other and pecking at each other, and over time the back of your chickens will get bare. I mean, they'll just really pick it, and once some blood starts to appear and little sores, a chicken will peck at anything red. So once it starts, it's just about impossible to stop. And I've tried all kind of stuff, man. I've tried putting red lights in my coop to make everything kind of red. I have tried putting axle grease, you know, to make their backs black. I've tried everything. The only thing that I've had really any success with is if you do have a chicken that has a bare spot, if you'll give them a little cat feed, that'll shoot some protein into their system and help them grow their feathers back. But as far as stopping cannibalism, once it gets started, it's tough. This flock here, and I hope you can see, they got a good bit of area here to run in and to scratch in through here. They also got a good sized coop. I got about a dozen chickens in this coop, and I've had no trouble at all with any of my hens getting, you know, as far as being cannibalized. Now the rooster is going to peck on the back of their head, and you know, you got a pecking order that they're going to have. So you know, that's just chickens. They're going to have a pecking order, and a few of them's going to get picked on, but nothing like the cannibalism that I've experienced with my other small flock. I mean, some of those chickens look pitiful, and they still lay eggs, but I just can't get them to stop cannibalizing each other. So just a note to you, if you're going to get chickens, make sure you have enough room in the coop farm. Make sure you have enough room outside if you're not going to free range them. That's very important. It's going to lead to problems if you don't have enough room. And I guess that's about it, except one thing I will bring to note. A friend of ours was over, and she saw my rooster. And she said, "Oh, you got a rooster." She said, "That means you get eggs." And I say, what do you mean I got a rooster? That means I get eggs. I said, "Rooster don't lay eggs." And she said, "Well, I know, but your hens won't have eggs if you don't have a rooster, right?" And that's not correct. A hen will lay an egg regardless of whether you have a rooster or not. The laying of a hen greatly depends on their age. It depends on what type of food you are feeding them. That's what determines the quality and the quantity of your eggs. The rooster has nothing to do with that. The rooster strictly or only fertilizes the eggs. If you're wanting to raise little chickens, then you need a rooster. And you don't need to put more than about a dozen hens on him if you're going to try to raise little chickens. And the reason is, if you put more than a dozen hens on him, he just simply can't service them all. And what you're going to wind up, if you put a dozen eggs under a hen, when she gets broody, you know, only half of them will wind up being fertilized, and you'll wind up wasting your time and her time. So you don't need a rooster to lay eggs. As a matter of fact, a lot of subdivisions, you know, you can have hens and kind of get away with it because they don't make that much noise. A rooster goes to crowing like at 3 o'clock in the morning. As you can see here, I kind of live on the back side of nowhere. It kind of looks like it's all the way around my house. So, you know, I'm not really that much worried about neighbors. So, but if you live in a subdivision, you know, that's something you might want to consider, is not getting a rooster. But if you're going to raise little ones, you got to have it. And again, you know, my last video on rabbits, when I showed you the Vanadyne, that also works with chickens and poultry. That's a very good chemical. It's very reasonable. You can get on Google and punch it in. It says Vanodine, Vanadyne, V18. It's a good disinfectant, and you can use it on just about any type of animal, and it really helps keep disease down. One other thing that you want to consider when chickens, you notice I have a top on my pen here. This is some mesh that I had, a roll that actually was made to go on back of dump trucks to keep the loads from blowing out, but I turned it into a top for my chicken pen. I did all right for about a year without losing any chickens at all. And then all at once it seems like the raccoons and the possums and the weasels and the owls and the hawks all got together and discovered where my chickens were, and they laid melee on them for a while. And I kind of got that under control, but you've got to lock your chickens up at night to keep predators from getting them. And you've got to put a top on your pen. You know, I'm in a wooded area here, which I think that helped protect mine for a while, but once the hawks found out they were here, it was on. So you need to put a top on your pens. Well, that's about all I know about chickens. And if you buy some, you'll be pleased with them. They give you a lot of eggs, and you can make a lot of friends by giving eggs away. So have a blessed day. Talk to you later.